Hi, I'm Chris Bober, and I represent one half of Team Bober with Nebraska Realty. Welcome back to my video series where I'm talking about how to buy a home in today's seller's market. Now, if you have to be living under a rock to not know that the real estate market right now is very volatile because we have such low inventory, we have such high buyer demand, prices are going up, there's a lot of things out there going in the market, and it's in the newspaper, it's on TV, it's on social media. Today we're going to define it just a little bit so we know kind of what we're up against, and then we're going to provide you with the solution that we've come up with that has helped a lot of our clients get into houses even in this crazy seller's market. So here we go. Now in our series, our mission when it comes to providing information out there on our website, on YouTube, on social media, our mission is to educate and empower our clients to make great real estate decisions. We really believe that if we give you all the choices out there, you'll make great options, you'll make great choices. And hopefully when you need information, you see the value of what we do and you call us and we help you do it. So let's go ahead and get started. And this is going to be a kind of a game plan for success when it comes to buying houses. We're going to talk about understanding the challenges of today's market. We're going to talk about knowing the pathway to purchase, or at least the typical pathway to purchase. We're talking about some tips for success that might get you there, and then we're going to have a new VIP buyer program that we're going to explain and how it's beneficial to you guys. So in order to understand where we want to go, we have to understand where we are right now, especially looking at the recent past and the statistics. So this is the statistics for January that we pulled at the end of January, 2018, 2017, and as you can see, compared to 2017, the number on the market was down 4%. The number that are under contract was down 6%, and the number of units closed was down 4% compared to the previous year. Now, what's interesting is these are down, but the number of volume of dollars closed is up. That, of course, leads to a 10% increase in price, for both new construction and existing sale price. In January of this year, they're both up 10%. Now, this is Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska does not go up 10% over a year basis. So these are some pretty big numbers here. Let's transition here to the next month, which is February. It's a little bit shorter of a month. We have to take that into account. And it also has the trailing effect of not a lot got put under contract over the holidays. Some of the closings in January were put under contract around Thanksgiving. These were the lack of holiday contracts. So you'll see the number on market was still down. You'll see the number under contract was down a good amount. That's the holidays right there. And the volume actually was down a little bit, but the prices were still up. New construction was up 2%, although remember we're in winter. There's not a lot of new construction sales. They can't dig basements in the snow. The existing sale price did go up 9% to the previous year. So as you can see, the statistics are trending towards higher prices and lower availability. This is a graph that I really like that shows a 20-year history of the Omaha market, and it shows the new construction price over this period. It shows the existing price over this period. But if you can see it, there's a green line here that shows the average number of listings on the market, right? So back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had a little bit of a boom in there. Houses were, because demand was up, supply was down. And then all of a sudden we get to the mid 2000s, the supply goes back up. This is just a time when a lot of sales and transactions happened. The prices were going up. We hit a high in 2007 of 5,400 listings on the market. And that's almost 3 times more than we have on the market right now. So you can tell prices were still up. This is a banner time for real estate. All of a sudden the recession kicks in, right? These things get sold. A lot of these things get taken off the market through short sales and foreclosures. And then you see a little spike here. Remember in 2009 when the government had a program, $8,000 to buy a house? That bumped that up a little bit, and then it just continued on the trend line. Prices. Then we come out of the recession here about 2011. Inventory goes down because people start buying houses again. So the prices are going up. Prices are still going up. This is from 2016. 2017 is like down here. Okay? So you look at the trend of where we're at. Prices are up. Inventory is down. Huge gap when it comes to pricing versus availability. So let's look at how this is affecting literally the market today. All right? As of today, there's 1,750 active listings in the MLS. That was actually taken from yesterday. Again, one thing to look at is in 2017, the average number of monthly inventory was down 10%. So we're facing a decline in inventory, right? There's 1,115 existing homes listed. There's 635 new construction listings. But these numbers can be a little bit shaky because of the existing homes that are listed. Several of them are pending and under contract. So they're still active in the MLS, but they're technically under contract. New construction listings, a little bit more positive news. A lot of them are model homes, so they're selling out of the model. They're actually putting more stuff out there for sale. So what you would overall notice here is that there is a lack of inventory. These lead to some other statistics that I think are painting a picture of the challenges that buyers have in today's market. This is the absorption rate. Absorption rate is the amount of inventory we have given for our current demand, right? So if we listed no more houses today, we would run out of houses in 1.9 months. Actually, 2017, that was the average. As we can see, it's not going up, it's going down. Compared to 2014, when there was 3.5 months of inventory, now we have less than 2 months. Now we're even less. Look at the price range that this affects. The biggest market we have in Omaha is this $100,000 to $250,000 range. There is less than a month of inventory out there. So as you can hear people asking for new listings because the demand is so high, they do not sit on the market very long. All right, that equals a seller's market. I mean, this is the definition of the ultimate seller's market. As a buyer, that makes it tough. We're going to come up with some solutions here in a minute. All right, so as we look to this, another key factor is the number of days on market. So I'll show you a timeline of how things typically work, but this will show you how fast you have to act if you're going to get into the real estate market to buy. So this is the timeline right here of the price points and then their average days on market. As you can see, this big market here is less than 17 days on the market when it gets listed to when it goes under contract. The mean is 5, which means there's a whole bunch of them that have sold in a day. There's some that's been on the market for a while because they're not priced correctly. A couple of statistics to kind of look at is this is from 2017. During that year, last year, we shaved 8 days off the average time on market. Since 2014, and that ended just 3 short years ago, we have shaved 3 weeks off the average market time. So if you think about this, at the end of 2014, if somebody's on the market for 17 days, you're looking at 3 more weeks. So you're looking at 50 to 60 days that were on the market previously. Between 30 and 60 days was the average. Now we're way below that, okay? All right, so now that we understand kind of what we're up against, let's kind of go over the typical pathway to purchase. And I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on this because things change every day, but these are the steps. You have to hit most of these. It's just how fast they come. You know, the first kind of group of steps is you meet with your realtor and you're gonna determine your wants and needs. You're gonna define a purchase parameters where a realtor will set you up with a search and things like that. Style, location, price range. One of the big things is to get pre-approved so that when you do go out into the marketplace, you are approved and you make a solid offer. So the next set is when you actually get to go out and look at houses. So typically this is something that takes a little bit of time. You're going to go out maybe once a week, every couple days. You're going to see a few. You're going to go back and think about it, think about the pros and cons. Well, I like this one. No, I like this one. And then you're going to approach the other realtor. You're going to write a contract. You're going to negotiate in all fairness and, again, land on terms. Now, of course, in the market today, this is a super fast process, okay? This is why we're going to talk about a solution. Now, this is where our market these days has become difficult, especially for professionals. The home inspection. After you get the property under contract, you're going to ask for a home inspection, go in there, have it inspected. You're going to ask for repairs. I put asterisks here because the home inspection is the #1 reason that properties actually don't go back on the market because they can't agree on that. We'll talk about that in a second. Then you're going to go through the process of getting the repairs. You're going to walk through to see the repairs. And you're going to sign a whole big book of documents, and then we'll give you the keys to your new house. You can move in. That's the typical purchase pathway. Again, you're still going through these things, but the timeline on these has changed in this market, right? So what's different about today's market? #1, there's less inventory equals shorter market time equals higher prices. Multiple offers give sellers more leverage. Okay, if you're going to go into this and write offers on houses in today's market, you're probably competing with other offers. This leads to quicker, hastier decisions and less favorable terms for the buyer. You have to give up a lot of things that you really want to get a house. This has also come up with problems at the home inspection. If you're a buyer and you pay more than you're willing to pay for this because you want the house, well, then you want something close to perfection. So the mentality is, well, I paid X amount over listing price, so I want everything fixed. Well, the sellers, they think the exact opposite. They think, we got multiple offers, we're not fixing it. If you don't like it, we'll sell it to someone else. As you can see, there's a big void there. This is probably the #1 hardest thing where we spend the most amount of time on negotiating home inspection terms, right? That's what's going on today. Appraisals. I can't say this is an issue this time of year, but once the spring market comes and a whole bunch of sales come and drive the price up, about the beginning to middle of the summer, the appraisers start pushing back. And they can't justify the speed of the increase in prices. So then, if you go too high and the appraisal comes back lower, you don't qualify for financing. We have to go back and renegotiate the terms of the contract, or it goes back on the market. Again, a lot of challenges here equals a lot of friction and a lot of stress. Again, this is why you bring in a professional, because we help minimize the friction of the real estate process, and we're going to talk about some solutions, okay? So a couple of tips for when you go out looking at houses with your realtor, by yourself, however you do it. Number one is you got to be ready to write an offer quickly. That means if you go into a house and it fits your needs and you can see yourself living this, you probably should write an offer that day, if not that hour, because that's how fast they're coming in. You need to be flexible to visit homes. During weekdays is a great time. As houses go on the market, most people have to work during the day, so they can't go out till the evening or maybe till the weekends. If you can get in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, get in there on the weekdays, you will face less competition. Expand your search for homes. If you're in the 150 to 175 range and you can't find anything, maybe you expand and have a little more cash or a different type of financing to go bigger, or maybe you go a little less money for a fixer-upper. Sometimes you have to get a little creative to do that. Don't expect seller concessions. Typically, when you go into a negotiated contract, you can ask for the warranty, you can ask for a radon inspection, you can ask for all these things. If you're competing, a lot of times you don't get those terms, right? Same thing with financing. If you need seller pay costs to close, they're really hard to get these days because people are going above and beyond. No, you might not get the first house you write an offer on. This is sometimes a big challenge for people, but sometimes you're going to go out there and you're going to have to write several offers before you get one. The next thing is to be patient. I always promise my clients that if you don't get a house, there's a reason for it, and we can promise you we can find you the house that you want, but don't get stuck and hung up on one particular property all the way through getting the contract accepted, inspections, until I hand you the keys. That's when it's your house. That's when you know you got it, okay? So in going through all this, just thinking in my brain, having seen so many things, I think there has to be a better way to do this, right? So we've come up with what we think is a pretty good solution. Introducing the Team Bober VIP Buyer Program. Now, we've created this program as a systematic method for purchasing a home. We're going to give you some steps to go through that we feel are going to get you to purchase a home in the most effective manner. This is only for qualified, committed, and motivated buyers. If you're going out and just kind of part-time looking at houses and thinking maybe I'll buy one if I get it, honestly, you're wasting your time, because you need to be ready to buy. You need to be motivated and committed. And this allows for the highest level of customer service. We really can commit to buyers who are ready and motivated versus people who aren't. And it also allows us to give you the highest level of professional guidance, counseling, and negotiation. So let's talk really quick about what these things mean, and then you can call us for more information. So our VIP buyer program has 3 steps that all buyers must meet to qualify for this program. Number 1 is you have to get pre-approved from a qualified lender. This is something that everyone should do if they're thinking about buying a house, but this is one of the required steps for us. The second step is you have to sit down with the Team Bober agent and attend a buyer counseling session. Now, this is a time when you're going to sit down and we're going to help you understand. We're going to ask a lot of questions. We're going to learn about your wants, your needs, where you got to be, what your purchasing power is, all these things, so that when we do go down the path of trying to buy a house, we don't waste a lot of time. We want to be efficient and effective. And the third thing is we're going to require a commitment that you hire us as your realtor. You know, we're willing to commit to our buyer clients as much as they're willing to commit to us. And when you do that, we can go out and give you 100%. So for more information, here's our contact information. Myself and Jen, we work together. Every buyer gets 2 realtors for the price of 1. We go out there and we do a great job, especially if you come into our loyalty program, our VIP buyer program. We can give you great service. This is a kind of fun thing I kind of like to put up here. You remember my old football days. I always say this: if you're looking to buy, build, or invest in the Omaha area, call the pros at Team Bober, and we will tackle the market for you. This is a fun picture back when they played the Giants. But that's how I approach working for my clients, man. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take them out. We're going to go out and get a victory for you guys. It's just my mentality. It's kind of a symbol of how I like to do business. And then once again, here's our contact information. For more information about how to buy a house, maybe you're looking to maybe sell, invest, or build, we do a full spectrum of services. But if you're interested in our VIP buyer program, call Jen or myself. Here's our email addresses. Here's our website. Give us a call, and we would love to help you out. Thank you so much and have a great day.